From its conception in 1932, the zombie genre has evolved to become the powerhouse of science fiction, thriller, and horror that we know today. Zombies are kind of undead. They're the reanimated corpses of the dead or infected. I've been a fan of the genre for years now, possibly since this gem hit the app stores in 2009. There is something so compelling to me about the human body becoming the vessel of something horrible, and it's just the horrifying nature and the horror that comes with eating your fellow human beings. Now, I've always been more of a fan of zombies that become zombies due to more science fiction-y kind of reasons, but that doesn't mean zombie movies that include magic are not good. After all, the genre does have its origins with magic and mythology, and even recently there has been amazing films where it's some sort of curse or possession, the thing that makes these things rise from the ground. The Necrofiles is not one of those films. The Necrofiles is a 1997 somcom, and chat, that is slang for zombie comedy if you don't know. A film directed by Matt Jazel, known for modern day classics such as Apocalypse Bigfoot and Night of the Rats. I wouldn't particularly call this man a genius, but he does certainly know his way around making a low budget horror movie. But this one is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. And it does it somehow in a way where it goes right past the so bad it's good territory, and then it makes a U-turn when it gets to absolutely unwatchable, and then it just flies up into space into I want to turn this shit off right now, but I gotta see how it pans out, so I'm gonna finish watching the entire thing. Critics might say this is a shitty attempt at the already shitty concept of exploitative videography of the carnal kind. And honestly, they might be right. There's so much just downright awful sex scenes that go on for just so long. It felt like I was browsing the amateurs section of a shady fetish site, and I just happened to scroll all the way to page 10. It's just pretty bad. However, if you can get past that, and I wouldn't blame you if you can't, but if you can, it's like this movie is saying, my eyes are up here, and when you look away from the nasty things, you can lift your gaze up and meet those eyes, and those eyes are full of amazing special effects and incredible line delivery.
It's me, man, open the goddamn door!
And an incredibly amazing prop department, and gosh, it's an awfully conceived child that you just can't help but feel a sort of fucked up sense of sympathy for. The Necrofiles opens up with a very fortuitous shot of a naked woman taking a shower, I suppose to grab the viewer's attention. We quickly learn that a masked cannibal lunatic, who happens to be a Nazi, this doesn't come up later in the film, but I guess good to know, is stalking outside her home. This sicko is Logan, and he breaks into this woman's house to strangle and abuse her. With a better budget and actors that don't look like they bomb even their local bar's improv night, this scene would be pretty horrifying, but I can't take anything this guy does seriously. And the dead woman just happens to be a bit ticklish. Somewhere else, these two cool guys are just fucking about and being 90s American cops as they do. These are detectives Orville Sloan and Martin Manners, who've been actually after Logan for a while now, particularly because he's supposedly implicated with Sloan's sister murder. It is right here that we know that one of Logan's victims actually got away safely and was pregnant with his child. This will be important later on. They receive a call of some suspicious activity and they go to the scene of the crime. Logan ambushes Manners with a very realistic beer bottle, causing him to collapse. Sloan is not far behind, thankfully, as Manners would have probably been beaten to death, and he manages to apprehend Logan. This is when Manners regains consciousness and they play a bit of good cop, bad cop, and eventually ends up shooting Logan a couple of times, killing him. A very inconspicuous amount of time later, these idiots show up in a cemetery. Instead of heading down to the Ren Fair or to someone's basement to complete the D&D campaign, they decide to visit Logan's grave. It is unclear to me, at least, what the cult actually wants to achieve, but they want to bring that guy back from the dead, and so they perform some sort of ritual. Okay, if you haven't caught on already, this is supposed to be Logan's baby, and yeah, we're supposed to pretend it's real. The leader of the cult says some vaguely satanic things and sacrifices the baby, and he also pisses on the grave for some reason, causing Logan to rise from the grave. And he's looking better than ever. The freak zombie does not take kindly to being pissed on, so he's a fake freak. So he rips this guy's shaboing boing off and murders all but 2 cultists. The 2 that get away are the most 90s guys to ever star in a low-budget horror film. This one is Jack, and this one right here, this one is Barney. We'll talk about them in a second. Somewhere nearby, this other duo is still hanging about. Manners is going a little bit crazy after their encounter with Logan, which is supposedly caused by the blow to the head he took 9 months ago. This injury was clearly very rough, and it leaves him increasingly unstable and violent as he and Sloane investigate fresh killings, which are appearing to look similar to the late cannibal style. They argue that it can't be because Logan is dead. And when I mean they argue, I mean Sloane argues, as we are now setting the scene of Manners getting into some naughty cop business. Manners is now addicted to quote-unquote the good shit, which he gets from this absolute bozo right here. Yeah, honestly, I'd do the same. I can't even blame him. Back to these 2. Jack and Barney regret bringing the freak zombie back from the dead, so they're researching their spellbook to undo what they've done.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I seem to remember something like that. Some kind of counter spell or something. Some like kind of demon we could summon up to straighten out the mess. Yeah.
You mean like, kind of like a demonic janitor or something?
Exactly.
Huh. Let's do it. What the hell is this, man? Forgot my cinnamon crispitos. What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
I'm not sure which supposed cult sect they're in, as their room just looks like Walmart in Halloween. But for a 90s trashy movie, I'm just really glad they didn't do a shitty, offensive take on voodoo or East Asian magic. I know movies love to do that sometimes. They go back to the cemetery and perform a second ritual. The logic they're following is that since they summon the demon, the only way to get that demon killed is by summoning another demon, so they can battle and kill each other, I guess. Baby's back! Jack and Barney leave the cemetery thinking their ritual didn't work. But oh boy if it did. Back in their hideout, they're praying and digging about because they think the freak zombie is after them.
Jesus, please help us! Please send down somebody out of save us! An angel, anybody, please! Please get down here, Jesus, and help us!
Please forgive us, please.
Jesus, Barney! Barney made me do it, alright?
What do you mean I made you do it?
But what was your idea that we joined this stinking cult in the first place, man?
Yeah, but you don't gotta tell Jesus that, man.
I can't lie to Jesus!
You didn't have to mention it.
And well, not necessarily the freak zombie, but this freaky zombie baby shows up. Baby ends up killing Barney. Jack, however, strikes it with a bat and runs away. You know, when I watched this movie for the first time, I was pretty sad that we got to see a little bit more of Jack than we did Barney. But no kidding, like 2 minutes later, and when I thought the main characters were going to do the thing where they meet and actually begin working together, this guy stomps Jack to death because he thought he was on drugs and didn't want to share.
Fucking kill you, man!
So, alright, Freak Zombie. Logan has been killing just random people he stumbles upon, and this time he's in some girl's like dungeon? What people from the 90s thought goths like to live like? Anyways, she's getting crazy with it, and then he comes in and he gets crazy with it. And yeah, he falls in love with her blow-up doll, I guess. The confrontation we've all been waiting for happens as the zombie is frolicking and dancing around with his new girlfriend, the doll. Baby catches up to them, bites the doll, and flies away, with Logan following in an epic chase scene. Honestly, I don't understand what they're supposed to be half of the time. They're in a city sometimes, and then they're in a forest, and then they're in a prairie. And as Logan is chasing the baby, they wind up back in the city. So I guess the crew was just really driving around to see what they could record a couple of hours of their bullshit movie before they got kicked out. Sloan is starting to catch up to the fact that Manners is going cuckoo.
We got the DNA report back on that 187 the other night, and the sample is a perfect match to that of your old friend Logan's.
What do you mean? How's that? Unit 12. What the fuck are you doing, Manners? Are you fucking gone insane? What the hell are you shitting up? Have you lost your fucking mind?
Cold medicine. Don't worry about it.
But he can't think about it for long because he sees this outside of his window. Sloan is chasing Logan, Logan is chasing Baby, and Baby is going somewhere. And that somewhere is the altar the cultists had set up. Do you think the Spirit Halloween cleric that sold them all these had any idea they would be immortalized in transcendental piece of cinema? Freak Zombie eventually kills poor Baby again. But Sloan arrives shortly after, showing off some insane combat skills. Before eventually picking up Baby and jamming him and the knife inside of Logan's head. Then I guess he chops him up to make sure he can't come back again. I don't know, this movie is not very long, but it feels eternal sometimes. Oh my god, Barney's back! Hey Barney! But no douchebag shall be left alive under Manners' watch, because he shows up in time to kill Barney and save Sloan. I thought the movie surely ends here, right? But remember, Manners will not let anyone outsmoke him. So when Sloan tries to tell him about the zombies, even though they're right there, Manners doesn't believe him and kills Sloan because he thinks he doesn't want to share whatever he's on. Then it's alleged that Manners goes off on a shooting spree out in the city, but because this movie prioritizes realism, it says he gets off with no charges. Can you believe that? The epilogue then says he resigns as a cop and joins the new FBI unit of the paranormal. And this unit is called the Necrofiles. Damn, that was some bullshit. The Necrofiles was the second release of the newly created boutique Blu-ray label Visual Vengeance, which later went on to fill its catalog with other equally unhinged titles. There's something so viscerally nostalgic about these trashy, shot-on-video, straight-to-DVD slashers. There was an utter disregard for anything even remotely marketable, or even visually appealing, seeing as half of these look like shit. Directors and actors were just having plain old fun, making movies only weirdos and discount DVD bin shoppers would see. The masterminds behind the Necrofiles were three men by the names of Matt Jasel, Sammy Shapiro, and Todd Shersland. The the latter of which was the author of a comic strip named Psycho Zombie Love Butcher, of which the movie was heavily based upon. In a collector's script interview, Matt Jaisel recounts how he began making home movies with a Super 8 camera, which eventually led to the Necrofiles after shooting his first movie, Back from Hell. He says, and I quote, "I actually got involved with a guy named Todd Shersland following the completion of Back from Hell. He was running a successful bootleg company at the time called Threat Theater International and had some money at his disposal. He ended up largely financing Legion of the Night and the Necrofiles. He wanted to go legit. He almost did." So, would I recommend you watch the Necrofiles? Honestly, probably not, but I did. And now you know about it. Misery loves company, and I want to leave you with this scene once again, so that, it sticks in there, and you think about it often. You've just watched Primordial Monday. Welcome, and my first video too, how revolutionary. I will cover internet, media, movies, and just the generalities of weird entertainment. I really like B-movies and, straight to DVD, kind of interesting garbage, I suppose. So if you're interested in that, and if you want to know more about freaky, weird stuff, both on TV and on the internet, then I suggest you follow along, and I don't know, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.